Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Friday, October the 25th, race number 8 at beautiful Belmont Park. 7 furlongs on the Widener turf. It is an optional claiming race, $100,000, the optional claiming price. We are creeping ever closer to the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships, and we'd love you to get involved with DRFBets. Sign up for a DRFBets account at drf.com/bet, deposit $150, and bet the Breeders' Cup with $300. Let's meet the field for race number 8 at Belmont Park on Friday. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them and handicap along with us. There are some really sharp turf sprinters in here, but the key to the race, as is the case in many races, is the pace. And we look at the Timeform US pace projector, and we see Bound for Nowhere, who is 6-5 on the morning line, has not been seen since shipping overseas to Royal Ascot, but we know he's got a ton of class. He might be able to make a fairly easy lead in a blue bar situation.
Yeah, he might be able to. We'll see how the pace plays out. I do respect his speed in this race. I think there are a couple other horses who could at least be forward and at least keep the pace honest. I don't know that they'll be necessarily walking, Dan, but he might have a pace advantage in here.
Sand Dancer, the number 1's going to have to come from off of it, as he did last time out in the Cliffhanger Stakes. And that was a race that just didn't seem to have a ton of pace. It ended up with a bit of a blanket finish, but this horse always seems to give a nice, honest try. He finished directly behind Mo Maverick, a nice New York bred that came back to run second in the Kingston Stakes with a 94 Beyer speed figure. Now, his best Beyer is an 89. I think he probably needs to improve slightly to win this race, but he's a pretty hard trier.
He is a hard trier. He's got some tactical speed. He might be able to get the right trip in this race. I think you'll notice going through his running lines, like the times that he runs really well are when he's forward in the race. So we'll see if he can get a forward position this time. I just feel like this race came up really strong for the level.
The number 2 is Axtell. This is a horse dropping out of the Rainbow Air and has stakes at Monmouth back on September the 28th, and that was a big field. He had an outside post position. The third place finisher came back to run a surprising second when stretched all the way out to the point of entry stakes at Belmont with a 94 Beyer, but this horse's Beyers are a little bit light compared to the others and is going to have to improve at 30-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, he's a big price, so I'm not going to knock him. Not only does he have to improve, Dan, but he's got to show that he can get the 7, too. He's really more of a 5 and 6 furlong horse.
American Rule, the number 3, has entered main track only, so we'll move on to the 4, Bound for Nowhere. This is a horse who is a multiple stakes winner. We're going to take a look at his win, his runner-up effort in the Shakertown Stakes, a race that he won in 2018. He made the lead in here. He looked like he was home free despite going very fast, and it took an in-form, sharp turf sprinter and Imprimis to run him down near the shadow of the wire. I thought all in all, Bound for Nowhere ran great in this race, and then they ran him in the Diamond Jubilee overseas, and it didn't work out. If he gets an easy lead, I think the 7's within his scope.
No, I do too. I don't worry about the distance with him at all. He's a really talented horse. I guess I'd be somewhat concerned that he's only managed 2 starts this year. And it seems like he's been entered more than once since he come back from Ascot, but they haven't run him yet. So we'll see if he needs a race off the layoff. Listen, he's run nothing but good races basically for Wesley Ward, even though he disappointed last time at Ascot. Other than that, there really are very few bad races on his card. He's a very dangerous horse in here.
This will be the first sprint effort lifetime for the number 5 Maraud as he makes his 17th racing start in his career. Carlos Martin second off the claim. This horse ran okay last time out in the Red Bank, stepped up in class off of the claim, pardon me. They turn into the stretch. He's in the white blinkers, and he's very briefly going to make the lead before being run down by a really good horse in Divisadero. The 5th place horse in here, Diamond King, came back to run second in the Park's Dirt Mile. He's more of a dirt horse. He earned a 97 Beyer speed figure. This guy's got some figures that indicate that he could win a race like this. I'm really not sure if sprinting is his game, but maybe he can make the favorite work early.
Yeah, we'll see if he can keep up with the pace this time. It projects to be a lot faster than what he's been dealing with. I don't know. I guess he ran fine last time. He certainly didn't regress off the claim. I guess you could say that. He got a really good trip in that race, I thought. And you saw the stretch run there. He was just no match for the 1-2 finishers. I don't think this race gets any easier for him. This is a good field.
Made You Look as the number 6, dropping out of a pair of Grade 1 stakes races, and he's only raced 3 times this year. I thought his comeback effort was okay over yielding ground in the Grade 3 Forbidden Apple. He sat up close to the pace in the 4-star Dave. Don't think he was too embarrassed by that performance. I was disappointed in the Woodbine Mile, Mike. I don't know why he didn't come with a little bit of a stronger kick. I mean, they were going pretty fast in front of him. Can you make an excuse for that race? Chad Brown historically does well with these kind of horses cutting back in distance. I'm just not sure there's enough pace to set him up.
Yeah, he didn't run great last time, that's for sure. But his races prior to that, I mean, basically every one of them since Chad took over last May, they're just going to make him pretty tough in this race. I actually feel like the 7 furlongs is a good distance for him, too. I think he's probably more of a miler type. But he's won sprinting before. The 7 furlongs, I think it's going to be in his wheelhouse, Dan. I'm afraid of that. I didn't pick him on top. I'm afraid of this horse.
Vici is the kind of horse that might be able to make Bound for Nowhere work on the early lead. It appears he's knocking on the door for trainer David Donk with 4 consecutive runner-up efforts, although that's kind of been the story of Vici's career. 11 lifetime second-place finishes from 37 lifetime starts. Let's go back to his most recent race on turf. 2 starts back, he got an easy lead, I thought, in this race, Mike. It looks like he's home free at the 3/16 pole, but Alexandra just has an explosive kick, and she's just better than Vici. This is a tough break if you like Vici in this race, because who knew at this point that Alexandra was a real graded stakes class turf horse?
Yeah, true enough. He ran well in here. As you say, though, he really did make a relatively easy lead in there and then just got steamrolled late, but he ran well. I think even his very best race, Dan's going to make it really, really hard for him to beat this field. But he does have speed, and he could show it in this spot and get a really good trip.
I think you and I have always thought that Therapist, the number 8, is better at these shorter distances. The last time he raced 7 furlongs was at Belmont to kick off his 4-year-old campaign, and over yielding turf, he won the elusive quality over a pretty good field. I know the runner-up M House had a good trip shooting up the inside, and Therapist was still able to run him down. He has been competing competitively against good horses going longer distances. Can he stay close enough if this pace is slow? I think he can.
Yeah, I guess it all comes down to trip with him. We'll see if he can get the right one in here, if they don't go too slow in front of him. But otherwise, I agree with everything you said about him. His recent form is actually very good. He's been running against some good horses over distances that I really don't think he wants to go. In particular, that last one, the 1 1/8 is just too far for him. But he ran well in that race. That 7 furlong win off the layoff you mentioned. He won that race despite getting a very poor tactical ride in that race. I mean, that's a race that was almost blown by his rider, but he actually overcame it to win. This is a good horse, and this is his distance.
And he's going to be your top pick in this race as we take a look at our selections. He's 2 for 2 lifetime, cutting back from a route to a sprint. You mentioned that last race being too long. He was in against Voodoo Song, who came back to run second in the Mohawk with a 98 buyer. I wish I could get clever. I just think Bound for Nowhere is just going to get to the lead, and I think his class is going to carry him from there. I went 4, 8, and 5.
Yeah, I just wanted to give Therapist a chance because I think this is his distance, and I think he'll be the best price of the 3 main contenders. I went 8, 6, 4.
It is race number 8 at Belmont for your DRFBets Friday race of the day. Remember, special Breeders' Cup offer for new DRFBets subscribers. Deposit $150, bet with $300. DRF.com/bet is where you go for all of the details. Approximate post time for the Friday DRFBets race of the day, 5:11 Eastern. Good luck.